Yep, halfway mark. So how are we tracking so far? 5-2, so 5 wins, 2 losses. If we start with that, probably in a better spot right now than I had anticipated. I guess with having lots of new girls come through the team, girls playing different positions or spending significant amounts of time in different positions, we knew that it was going to be challenging for our group, but it's been really good to see them gel quite quickly, and in some patches have played some really, really good footy. So I think 5-2's that we're deserving of that. I don't think we've got away with any, and I don't think that's a lucky point to be at. So I think it's a really well-earned spot to be. And in terms of just how the group's tracking, I think the development in our babies, in our young girls, has been really, really good. Having some of our older heads really step up and claim those leadership roles has been a really positive aspect of our group. And Tyndall's doing a fantastic job as captain and leading the way with what leadership should look like. And I'd say that we're definitely got more pluses than minuses at this point of the season. I think most significantly, we've probably had one game, the Melbourne Uni game, where I felt like we played well for 4 quarters. The next game closest to that was probably the Carlton game. So I think for us is around how do we play that type of football that we know we can for a consistent amount of time across the game. I think that's an area for us to try and understand, and trying to nut out when we have those lapses. How do we fix them? How do we do that on field within a quarter, as opposed to having to come off at quarter time and reassess from there. I think that's, if we can do that as a group, that's a really big, I guess, learning curve, and to be able to do that would show some really positive signs. But I think our motto for this year is around that we do the basics well, and that should be our aim every single game, is that we're able to do that. And I don't know if Darebin's really previously been known as a team that really goes out and plays hard-hitting footy. Like, we've had a lot of girls that had a lot of skill and a lot of game sense, and perhaps we were able to avoid that type of play over the last 4 or 5, 6, 10 years. So I think creating a new brand where we are willing to get stuck in and we are willing to go hunting for the footy, and we'll track down those opponents who happen to get in our way. So yeah, I guess seeing our brand more consistently across 4 quarters is probably the aim. It's massive for our club. I know other clubs have also had a lot of girls, a lot of brand new players, and that seems to be the way that women's football tends to go a little bit. But here in the red, white and blue, we haven't necessarily had that so much. We've had a really consistent group of players for a long period of time. So that's a big change. I think all of the girls who've come in understood and understand what it means to play here and what we expect of players when they come here. So that when people sort of approach and ask around, is there a spot here, or are they able to come down and train, we're pretty upfront around the questions that we ask, and want them to understand from before they set foot in the door that if you come here, you don't just get a free ride, you don't get a carpet laid out to you. It's community football at a pushing for elite level. So you work hard and you do your bit around the club, and I think all of our girls have been able to do that. Our real babies, our TAC Cup girls, have slotted in seamlessly, and it's a nice feeling to give them an opportunity to play at VFLW level. They are itching to do it, and they all come in and they desperately want to play. And some have come in and they're far more ready quicker, and then others who are clearly making big steps in their development and will get an opportunity if they haven't already this year. So it's nice. It's nice to see some new faces, and they've blended in well. When the club decided last year that we're going to bite the bullet and go for it and push to be part of this competition, I knew that would be a wholehearted effort, and it's exceeded my expectations in the groundwork that's been done behind the scenes before our season was even up and running. And I think if you speak to the girls here, and I know for a fact, speaking to girls from other clubs, our girls are not getting anything less than what those girls are getting. We've got a good coaching group that are giving them feedback. We're doing vision. They get their weekly reports. We've got our medical team doing a fantastic job. We've got our sponsors on board to support us through that process. And this ground is a massive benefit to us. So I just think that for us to go, no, we're going to do it because we deserve the right to try and do it, but actually to have done it so well is a little moment where I'm like, this is the club that I'm part of and where my heart lies, because they've worked so hard to I guess push back against those bigger clubs and against a competition that maybe thought we might not necessarily be about. So I think it's a little feather in our cap to say we understand this landscape and we understand what it takes for us to be involved, but we also understand that it is changing and we do need to adapt to that. And I feel like the things that have happened off the field demonstrate our capacity to be flexible and understand that we do need to adapt and adjust to things, and I think we've done it really well.